Welcome to our third episode of Just One with Core. I'm here with Leah Linscheid. I'm super excited to do this. So welcome. Thanks for coming down. First, I'm going to say congratulations on being engaged. You guys have things to do in Dubuque. You taste test and you have tuxedos. The main reason I want people that are here to listen to your story to know that this is to empower successful people of Wisconsin and to be able to learn more about their journey, their story, and more things about them.
Well, hey, I'm so glad you're hosting this because you are the perfect example of that. You're a shining star in Southwest Wisconsin.
We're going to cheers.
Proud to know
We're going to cheers. So
cheers.
She's drinking a sweet brandy old fashioned. I actually went down. I'm going to plug them in quick. Colin down here right outside Keeler. They make wonderful old fashioned. I had Adam Kane run down there, make you an old fashioned. He actually made two because he said it's Saturday. You have to.
I'm going to get through two of these.
Yeah, I'm having coffee and Bailey's because I love Bailey's.
Yes, King.
So,
okay.
And I made two, of course. But it's all in my one cup. Now, obviously, you are at Channel 3 News.
Yes.
You're an anchor there. Everyone can see you on the news, see you. It's so cool. Let's talk before that. Like, how do we get there? Like, what's the journey been like?
Okay, so if you don't know me, I'm from Highland. I grew up in the smallest town you can find in Southwest Wisconsin, one of them.
Outside of Keeler.
Outside of Keeler. We're one of the smallest school districts in the state. I think we're the second smallest.
Okay.
Population 800. Mm-hmm. My graduating class was 20 people. I was related to half of them.
Yep.
If you weren't in church every Sunday morning,
you were judged.
Everybody knew why. Everybody knew why. So I'm so proud to be from Highland. I'm always talking about it on the news. And I'd like to think that more people know where Highland is now because I'm constantly talking about it. So yeah, I grew up in this small town. I have an incredible big Wisconsin family that all live within, 10, 50 square miles of Highland. And then I graduated. I went to UW-Madison. My dream was always to go to law school afterward. But I started working for the student newspaper at UW-Madison, fell in love with writing, took an internship at Channel 3 my final semester of school. I was planning on going to law school after that, had no interest in TV news, and fell in love with it. It's really fun to to do photography, to tell stories in your community. So I never looked back.
I wouldn't either. Law school sounds like a bitch.
Forget that.
Yeah, that sounds awful.
Forget that. Boring. Student loans.
Oh my gosh.
Stuck at a desk.
Yes. And I like what I love about that is you went in not knowing.
I had no idea.
Yeah, which is like 99% of people.
It is. It is. Did you ever think you'd be doing this in high school?
Not a shot.
Right.
No, not a shot.
And you're killing it.
Yeah, and even when I went to Platteville, I still had not. I did the business, the most bland whatever, because you could go anywhere from that.
Right.
But like, I think it was like a week after I graduated, I thought of this idea. So through college, I had no clue.
And look where you are now. So that's the fun part, right?
Yeah, and it's crazy, and you get a side of that. And I tell the people that I've had before, social media stuff like that. You see, everyone's like, "Oh, you guys are doing so well." It's like, yeah, well, it's hard work. Everyone, you know what I mean. There's so much stuff behind the scenes,
right?
And that's kind of something I want to learn more about your job, because honestly, the only thing I know is I could turn on my news, or I could turn on the news every morning
at 4:30 in the morning. You're waking up way too early,
which is wild. When we've been featured a couple times, I'm like, oh my god.
What time do I have to get up?
I gotta wake up. And
6?
Yeah, and like Josh told me, he's like, yeah, 5 to 7. I'm like, oh, so I just have to watch.
That's nothing. We wake up at 2:30 in the morning every morning. And I'm at work by like 3:15 on a bad day. My
mouth's wide open because
it's brutal.
You couldn't do that. Tia, not a chance. She likes to sleep a lot, but
girl, so do I.
Yeah,
all day,
so
every day.
How on weekends I see on your story and stuff, you're doing shit all day.
Hard napper. You got to get in your 2-hour nap every day, or you're gonna die.
But how is your weekends not completely because you're out and about during the day like this on a Saturday, Sunday? How did Monday come around 2 o'clock and you're like, oh my god,
it's not.
I didn't
fun.
sleep enough.
I'm not gonna say that it's a great time at 2:30 in the morning on a Monday, and I will also say this: on Fridays, I am making plans with everyone. Let's stay up late. Let's party. And I am dead by 7 p.m. Yep. So don't call me on a 7 p.m. on a Friday night. It's not going to happen.
Okay. So 2:30 wake up. So do you have makeup? Is that you got to go do stuff, or do you do that yourself? I have no idea.
Insider secret. Everybody thinks that we get our hair and makeup done at work. You're doing your own makeup and hair, which is fine. That's
so you get there at
2:30 in the morning. I wake up. I get there at 3.
Okay.
And then For like 45 minutes, I read through the show because we have overnight producers who do most of the writing. God love them. They are pulling 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. hours. It's nuts. So we'll read through the show. We'll make sure there are no big
like together. You guys read
missing.
through it, or
yes, yep,
okay,
yep.
Like a pre-run.
Yes,
type
yeah,
deal.
sort of. Yeah. Change scripts, add stories if there's breaking news. Keep tabs on what's going on today that we can feature or preview. And then right around 3:45 or 4, I go to the makeup room and I have my entire shtick down to 17 minutes. That's how long it takes me to put my makeup on, get my hair curled, pick out my outfit because I roll in PJs.
Of course, let someone spill coffee on you like you've had the past couple days. I see. Is it like an every week thing that you're spilling coffee all over your clothes?
I am just not a very tidy
It's not 608 like jersey type stuff. This is like nice clothes.
You will never catch me in white. The one day I wore white, spilled an entire mug of coffee.
So we should be worried right now. You're in all white.
Yeah, I never wear white and I'm wearing all white today. Well, it's for like a bridal show today, right? Like I had to wear white. Otherwise you will never catch me. I should be more careful.
Yeah, you're going to pick it right back up anyway.
Yeah, I know.
So you fell in love with it out of college.
Yes.
And then what did you do? How'd you work up the ladder? How's that even look?
There's a pretty specific way to go about news. You start in a smaller town. You start in a smaller market is what we call them. So I started in La Crosse, which is a smaller city than Madison. I was there for about 9 months working at our sister station there as a reporter, and then I moved up to weekend anchor. So as a reporter, you're out in the field, you're doing news of the day. As an anchor, you're sitting on the desk, reading the news, tossing to the reporter out in the field. So I moved up to weekend anchor while I was there, returned to Madison 9 months later, started as a reporter in Madison, went to weekend anchor in Madison, and am now morning anchor. I
mean, obviously that's a lot. Now, how long did that take?
I graduated college in 13. I was back in Madison in 14. So 8 years.
It's not as competitive as like the show Anchorman trying to get like the anchor job. It's not like that.
It's relatively competitive.
It is. I'm
is
sure.
Relatively competitive.
There's only like 5 spots.
But most people, we all sign 2-year contracts, and most people move on to bigger markets. Madison is a relatively small size market. So all my friends, back when I was a reporter and young, like still in my 20s, back in those days, they're all in bigger cities. They're in Salt Lake. They're in Miami. They're in San Diego, Raleigh, these bigger cities. Whereas that was never really my dream.
So say there's a lot of positives about being in, on your show. Is it's all like hometown based Wisconsin stuff.
These are my neighbors.
Yeah.
I am invested in telling the news to these people because they're my family, they're my friends, they're my neighbors. This is my home. So I never wanted to leave. Madison is considered a smaller market for news, but which is
wild because that's not what I think.
Right. Coming from Highland, Madison is small.
That's pretty big.
But I'll never be a Miami girl. I'll never be a Denver girl.
Where do you kind of see yourself, not only with Channel 3 News, but like personally, do you see yourself, in the next 5-10 years, obviously outside of starting a family, doing stuff like that, doing anything different goals, different, things that you want to start or whatever, what have you? Do you have any like goals like that?
We've talked a lot about this. Zach and I have. So obviously I'm on the morning show at News 3, which is tough for him because I'm going to bed at 6 or 7 at night. I'm waking up at 2:30. There are questions of how realistic that is long-term for me, health-wise.
Oh, for sure.
Or if we try to have a family. That being said, I love news. I love telling people what they need to know to start the day. I like providing a service to the community in that way.
Absolutely.
I love my job, so I don't see myself leaving news. I'd like to stay in news in some capacity. Maybe my hours shift as I get older, but I don't anticipate leaving News 3. That's like the career path for me.
Okay.
As far as outside of news, I lost my brother, Leah, to a car crash. And we have seen the community of Southwest Wisconsin really step up and take care of my parents.
Oh, for sure.
Take care of me and do a lot in his memory.
Absolutely.
I'd like to keep his memory going and give back to the community in a way that would honor his legacy. He was really into fitness and health.
For sure.
And we did a golf tournament last year to raise money for a scholarship in his name. I'd like to grow that scholarship. I'd like to make sure his memory is helping young kids get into the health field, to get into fitness, to have opportunities they otherwise wouldn't because of Levi. So for me, that's my next challenge. That's my next growth point, is to make sure his name is associated with all the things I knew he would have done in his life. I want to do that for him.
This could be, start with a scholarship, work its way to like a foundation type deal is what you're thinking?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have any concrete plans in place.
No, for sure.
But
But when you do, you do.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, you seem like the type of person, it's just like, maybe tomorrow you do.
Yeah.
Who knows?
It's going to happen.
Maybe that taste
Don't
testing,
you worry.
you'll learn it all.
Yeah, it's going to take practice, and it's still painful. I mean, it's only been a year, so it's painful to talk about. But that's my goal, is to keep him living through these other kids. Yeah.
And, obviously I didn't plan to talk about Levi, but, that's kind of like how we kind of connected in a way, even with your parents was, I went to Platteville. I'm great friends with Squeak, with all those guys at the Annex, with him. And that's kind of how we kind of got to know each other. And which crazy, this is the first time we're like meeting. Which is wild.
It is the first in person.
Yes, in person.
I feel like I already know you.
Yeah,
we
but
talk quite a bit.
And that's crazy about social media.
It is.
Like Instagram, there's so many people like that you know a lot about them, but you've never met them face to face, which I absolutely hate.
So do I. Let me take this moment to say I really don't like social media. I think it portrays our lives in a way that is not real. It's not genuine. But that being said, I have made friendships like the one with you without ever having met you.
Yeah.
Or I hear stories about Levi that I never would have otherwise heard because I don't live in Platteville.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it does create connections.
For sure. And I have the same feelings you do about social media, but we still do it. We have to with our...
Addicted.
And not in that, like, there are people that follow you and want to know more about your life. And, if you don't do that, you're kind of doing, I don't want to say a disservice to them, but like, it's all trying to grow your reach, grow your impact on other people's lives. I feel like that's everybody. But I do think you're completely right. There are a bunch of people that post like 3 times, like a day, like even more than daily. But it gets so, what's the word I'm looking for?
Disingenuous.
Saturated?
Yeah, and saturated.
And saturated. Yep, there we go.
Let me take a minute to say, though, like, the 608 is just, it's genuine. It's true to who you are.
See, I don't post, I post like twice a week.
Yeah, but the things you post are really true
to
who
something,
you are.
For sure.
Yeah, and I try to do that as much as I can. I try to post how I'm feeling, what my life is really like. I don't want to put a glossy,
for sure.
A filter on my life. So there are accounts like yours that do a really nice job of being genuine.
Yeah.
And truly Wisconsin.
Trying. Yeah, absolutely. And, I feel that's just kind of where people get lost, even more than Wisconsin, more broad, that some of them believe that some of these people live the best lives in the world, but there's so many things in their lives that aren't, you know what I mean?
Totally agree with that.
But that's just social media, but everybody has to do it because it helps further your impact,
your reach and your impact, and look at what it's created. We've become friends.
Look at that. Here we are. We wouldn't be sitting in the 608 upper stairs that is super, super hot.
I wouldn't have this phenomenal old fashioned at
thanks,
11
Adam.
On a Saturday.
Yep.
Big
absolutely.
fan of this.
Yeah. So I absolutely love that. Because, I want to make sure everybody understands that everyone has goals.
Yeah.
Whether they're personal in their own field, whether maybe not even in that field, but everyone has goals. They might not even know them until it like hits them in the face like a brick wall.
Right.
But everybody has them. That's why I love this, be able to hear what their goals are. Because I feel like a lot of people, it gets lost. Like people forget like, I have to keep thinking in the future, because if you don't, you're going to get stuck where you are. You're going to miss things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I absolutely love that. I've thought about this so many times since I'd known you were going to be coming on the show. I feel like I'd be good at. I feel like I could be on the news. My problem is obviously fillers, and I swear. You
can't swear.
I know, but did you even before you were like on the news? Did you ever swear a lot, or because I mean honestly, the small town feel like even like here like in a hole in the wall, you hear it like everywhere.
Oh yeah.
So my issue is like I don't think I do it because I could turn it off when I'm like talking like this.
It's live television. You can't do it.
But I'm not. I mean, no one's perfect. I will mess up.
Yeah, but you are so effervescent. You're so natural. You're so genuine. You would kill it as a reporter. You do really well. I mean that.
Channel 3 News. If you ever need a Keeler, if you ever need someone to come live from Keeler, I mean, I'm your guy.
Coming for your job, Josh Brighter.
Watch out. In the 608, why not get the guy who's doing the 608?
Ooh, Joshy.
Oh gosh. No, I actually would even watching you guys all have like a great feel, vibe. Like you guys, and even seeing like your stories, you guys are all like friends.
Josh and I are best of friends. We work out together. We get drinks phenomenal. Together. He's great, isn't he?
Yeah.
He just brightens everybody's day. So
oh my gosh.
Lucky to have him,
yeah,
for sure.
Did not know he was from Minnesota, but I mean, I said you're finally in the right spot now.
I will say this. I feel like Minnesotans
they're like the same
and Wisconsinites, they're the same.
Yeah, other than they cheer for the wrong university Gophers, and we can't
bad
be dealing
sports
with that.
mindsets. But like, you got to give them something, right?
Yeah,
if that's the worst
sure.
thing about them, we'll pass.
So like, and you go out about like, what's like, do people like come up to you and like talk to you about your job? Because I'm being honest though, because you're on the TV, like to a lot of people, especially people who aren't on social media, like the older generation, like you're probably like you're a celebrity.
I don't know about that.
But I'm saying like that's like the small town thing though. You know what I mean? Like even like not like our generation, because our generation, even the younger generations don't watch the news.
Yeah.
I mean, but
you should watch the news.
Tia's
nodding. She watches the news. Smart ladies watch the news.
I like the newspaper, to be honest.
Wow, that is old school.
Yeah.
That is old school.
My dad's got a TH
newspaper.
Subscription, so I might sneak on my phone and read it every once in a while.
I'm impressed. Good boy.
Yeah.
Good boy.
I like to see news, especially if I'm in it, but I do like to see I do like to see like a lot of the things. The issue like these past like year is, I mean, I just feel like some shows you watch news, it's just so hard to watch.
It's depressing, right? Imagine how exhausting it is to listen to all of the news about COVID or all of the news about protests.
You got to speak it.
Yeah, I live in that, and so it is exhausting. It's hard, and not to make this about me because there are plenty of people going through much harder times right now. But it's tough. So we are lucky on News 3 to have this in the 608 segment. Josh is doing such a great job bringing positive news to our newscasts. So I'd like to think we're a little different from other newscasts.
Oh, absolutely.
Because we have that.
But so like even like when I've contacted you, like when we were doing when COVID first started, the local stick togethers.
Yes.
Thing.
Yes.
So
yes.
like, how much say do you guys have like for like stories that you could throw in? Like, do you guys have full like power to be able to like add stuff that you think is like good for the news?
I think we have a fair bit of power. Chris, Stanford, myself, and Josh, we have a combined 40 years of experience in news. So we understand what is newsworthy. I think our managers trust us to choose stories that can go into the newscast. And I think it is so important to have local folks like myself and like Josh and like Chris who know the beat of the community to make sure that we're covering the positive, impactful news like the 608.
And let's talk business terms. Like that's wonderful for viewership.
Yes.
Is to add in all these local businesses because that whole town's going to be watching.
Exactly.
Whatever business, Josh, or whatever business you're talking about, you can't tell me, like, I told everybody in Keeler I was going to be on the news.
And everybody in Keeler watched.
Or at least I told my dad, and he told everybody.
That's all you need.
From Florida, which is crazy to me.
What better PR person than a father?
Yeah, which is wild, because he's in Florida, but so many people.
Connections.
Yeah.
Connections.
Text messaging.
I will say this, the news gets a bad rap because it is exhausting, right? It's depressing. And I truly think to the core of my heart that it's important to know what's going on in your community.
Oh, for sure.
Even when it's sad, it's important to know what's happening. But it's equally as important for us as journalists to understand that you need to hear the positive things that are happening too.
Yes.
So that's why we're lucky enough to feature folks like you who are doing incredible, positive work.
Yeah, and that's definitely crazy because I feel like you guys get a bad rap because of like the CNNs and the Foxes of the world. Because for one, I absolutely hate talking politics. Hate it.
Who doesn't in Southwest Wisconsin?
Oh my God.
Polite.
I hate it because everyone is uneducated.
Right.
Including me. None of us know exactly who's good and who's bad.
But everyone is married to their opinion. I am my opinion.
Yeah.
But you can learn something from somebody on the other side of the aisle.
But when, sorry to cut you off, but like CNN and like Fox, it's like their opinions are kind of portrayed
so sensationalized.
Oh,
that news.
Yeah.
I tell my parents constantly, turn CNN off, turn Fox off, turn off MSNBC. Like if you cannot lump local news in the same ball as those news outlets because we're doing something different.
I think the thing with like those guys are, and it's sad that it's this way, but like negativity does like sell to people.
It does.
People like there are so many people that like the negative
anger
stuff.
Sells, hatred sells.
Oh, and I've seen like even on your Facebook, like you deal with it.
Oh my gosh, all of the time.
Like I don't get Like people, like I think you put out like an email. Was it like an email?
Yes.
Like who in their right mind? Because they had to probably look your email up for one.
To tell me how much they hated
They had to go find
me.
your email.
And a paragraphs long email about how much they hated me. And I wish that was uncommon, but it's not. We get plenty of emails from my hair to my clothing to my jewelry to... I mean, that email was about how much I talk about Highland, and they hate it.
Oh
and
my God.
I seem like a country girl on the news. And that's offensive. I
It
get
is.
it to an extent. That's part of my job is just remember there's a person on the other side of that email.
What's going on in their life that they feel like they have to do that?
Exactly. And
Yeah.
it's tough.
Oh my gosh.
But
And
that's the world we live in right now,
trolls.
right?
Trolls are everywhere.
Everybody hates everybody. So let me just make a plug here for two things. One, be nice to each other.
100%.
Life is tough enough right now. Like, listen to other people, hear them out. You can disagree, but still like each other.
Oh, for sure.
And two, turn off CNN and Fox.
Yeah.
Turn on your local news. We're different. We're telling you what's happening in your backyard.
From 4 to 7.
From 4:30 to 7 in the morning. Wake up
4:30 to
nice
7.
and early.
Yep.
Hang out, Chris, Josh, and I.
I will see you at 6:45. I'm just kidding.
That's fair. That's fair. You can always DVR.
Yeah.
Does DVR exist anymore?
I don't even know. We don't have it.
We don't. I think it still exists, but we just don't have the capability.
We're on
our
YouTube,
TV.
I think.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Try YouTube. There
Okay.
you go.
So yeah, no, there's in like especially like our business is built on social media, showing positivity, and that's
Yes.
what we have in everything. We want to be local. We want to spread positivity to every community. So like I feel, but there's trolls everywhere, and like even after we were featured on in the 608 and we got a bunch of followers, some of those followers just follow us just to message us.
Certainly.
And say, oh, you're just 608. Or like our hometown. I wish I don't ever did it, but we have hometown t-shirts that we sell. I don't think people understood like how much money it costs to do all the towns we're doing.
And then they're offended if you don't include their town.
Theirs. Right? And some of them I've never even heard of them. Like like in the Grant County, and that's crazy, or 608, like there's not many towns that like if you say it, I haven't heard it. But there's like some small like towns that like they're like, you don't have ours.
Come on, man.
And then they do you have like I even had a couple like you do Keeler. Like, yeah, well, we're from Keeler. So like I knew that was gonna be our best shirt probably selling.
Stop!
Yeah, and I had some people
can't help themselves.
Oh my gosh, I don't get it. It's like what's going on? Like,
Because they forget there's a person behind that account. Like it's easy,
sure.
again, on social media to think it's just an account, but there's a person behind that email account, behind Instagram. There, it's offensive.
For sure. Lastly, I want to talk a little bit just personally about yourself, like your hobbies, like what I know you like hiking. I know you like being outdoor.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like basically the only things that you ever post on like your stories.
That is all I post.
Yeah.
And I love it. So Zach and I are really big on hiking. We're really big on backcountry camping, which is kind of for crazy people. What you do is you pack your backpack full of like, I kid you not, 50 pounds of food and your tent and, a little bit of clothing to head out for like, I think the longest one we've done so far is like 4 days of just hiking and camping in the woods.
Oh, so you are a little psychotic in a way. Yeah,
nuts.
That's crazy.
Totally nuts. In bear country too, in grizzly country.
Yeah.
We did this out in Montana at the Glacier National Park. Oh my gosh, so beautiful.
It's beautiful,
so
but
pretty.
like, I mean, where are you guys showering? What are we doing here?
What
Like,
is showering?
where?
That's a waste of time.
Oh, you didn't,
buddy.
You weren't?
I mean, there's like a river you can douse
Dive
yourself
in?
in a river, but no, you get pretty stinky.
Yeah, I mean, I like the outdoors, but I'm a hunter, so I like to be out
You're
there
a
when
hunter.
I'm hunting people. Like hunting, not
Yes.
people. Wow. Cut that out.
The most dangerous
Cut
game.
that out.
Oh boy.
When I'm hunting animals, like we went to Utah, and that's
Zach does those big trips too.
where like you're hiking 15 miles a day.
Zach does that.
Yeah,
Zach does
and-
that. So you a bow hunter?
Yes, but
Zach got me a
but
bow.
don't get it twisted. I do like gun hunting too.
So
I'm just more into bow hunting.
I have a bow, and I use my father's guns when I've gun hunted, but I am by no means.
I'm kind of like crazy when it comes to bow hunting. Like I'm like pegs, screw them in, and I climb up that way, and I carry my seat with me.
Zach would love you.
And like I sit in a lone wolf, which is like the smallest seat you could possibly get. Like you have room for your feet to sit.
Just so you can carry it faster?
Well,
Farther?
yeah, it sits on your back, and then you climb up, and you sit, and your seat's like this big.
You are hardcore.
In a way, yeah.
You could camp.
I mean, I could.
You'd be
but
fine.
Yeah, I'd be fine. I'd rather still be like in a camper. Like,
my
or
gosh.
better yet, think about this: a cabin.
This guy's from Keeler and he wants to stay in a cabin. You glamper?
Yeah, I am. Well, in a way,
I'll allow it.
I do like outdoors. I love being out there, especially with our 2 dogs. One needs to get out there like now because he's getting a little chubby on the
Hunting
chubbier
dogs?
side. No, we have a Belgian Tervuren, which is more of a herder.
Ooh, sure, yeah.
And then a black lab, and he is.
Pretty.
Well, yeah, he's pretty huge. He's a year and a half, 2 years, and he's like 120 pounds.
I want a big dog so bad. I
You
want a
do.
cow.
He's a big boy.
Yeah,
He's
he
a good
could
boy, but he's a big boy.
take her
I
down
want
in like
that.
a second.
Dang.
He can't. Yeah. No. Well, 120 pounds.
Yeah, that's a big puppy.
Yeah. Who thinks he's small? Which is kind of
Lap
crazy.
dog. 120 pound lap dog.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
So, all right. I mean, outside of that, I don't really have anything else. I really appreciate you coming down.
This was fun.
Yeah. See, and this is just the small aspect of Keeler. We're in an upstairs attic. Like there's so many things outside. And it's so gorgeous out. Like it makes me want to drink. I'm sorry. It just does.
We're getting there. This is false spring though.
Yes. Oh my gosh, it is. I know.
This is fake.
Mm-hmm. But
First round.
You know, we got a big tournament and stuff after this. We're bowling tournament for a bar. So we're gonna go have fun. I hope you guys have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
With your taste testing. Is it food, just food, or are you doing like all the
Just food.
Okay.
Just food. Got to make that decision. We got to try on some tuxes, which will be fun.
You're wearing a tux too? That's kind of crazy.
I am. We're a little unusual.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah.
Can't wear white. We've already talked about that.
Yeah.
I
Right.
spill coffee all
Yeah.
over
So
it.
you can't have coffee on your wedding day. No. So
Or old-fashioned.
I absolutely appreciate it. We're gonna have to do this again.
I agree.
Once the weather keeps cooperating with us, we're gonna get it together and we're gonna have a drink. You're gonna come to one of the supper clubs down here, and we're gonna treat you guys to a
100%.
night out.
Love supper clubs.
Absolutely.
I'm sold.
So I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
This was so fun. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
This was so cool. I'm having fun.
Keeler. We're always.
This is a super party. I'm having so much fun. We should just all hang out.